And so, if I could get rid of all those problems, I'd be happy. But right now, it's just not doable. So, problem is, she met this powerful man, and I guess, as far as I understand, either married him or married their daughter off to him, and her problems became his problems, which became my problems. Now, that friend I helped out, he he's got some slightly nefarious friends of his own, and I say slightly. There's some scary cats, man. I uh, I got hunted Christmas Christmas Day, the night of Christmas Day. I was pretty much set up. Um, like I said, I didn't know these people were friends of my friends. Boy, I tell you, that just a total mind-boggling experience. A young cat, a friend of his, I was gonna try and have work for me, trying to earn his stripes and whatnot. Thug life. Yeah, he's the one that gave me a ride home from Oakland, and I got introduced to some people that night that I had no business in meeting, really. And it started making me wonder. I watched the pistol get handed off in a shirt and was told that there was nothing. I'm imagining things, and then I watched that pistol get handed off to the kid that was giving me a ride home. Now, the kid was listening to gangster rap about killing snitches and punks the whole way, getting all hyphy, not being as conversational as normal, and itching that gun on his leg. He also took me to a completely different spot of where I was told I was going to be dropped off. I don't know if you guys know this spot, but Black Bear Diner in Tracy has a little road by it that stretches out behind it, goes quite a ways, has sound barrier walls on each side, 12 foot tall. Good spot to shoot, man. No one can see you. There's walls blocking all the fucking houses. No one will hear it and know exactly where it came from because it'll be bouncing around. And small arms fire don't get that loud. Thank God for military training, growing up hunting, and kind of having a mind for it. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. Um, Now, when he drops me off in this weird ass spot, he tells me, "Oh man, sorry, something came up." Now, he'd never answered a phone call the whole way. And he says, "I'm gonna drop you here. Which way you going home? When I get done here, if I'm heading back that way, I'll pick you up and take you home." So I told him a fake direction. I said, "Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, right, motherfucker." And then jetted through the neighborhood as soon as he turned the corner. Kicked out a fence, jumped through that hole and fucking out into a field out in the middle of nothing, about 250, 300 yards away from the road that he'd be passing on. Now, right as soon as I get through this fence, mind you, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, here comes his vehicle riding real slow. And I know, pissed off, that he didn't get to earn his stripes to do what he felt he was supposed to do. Beat you, kid. Fucking lot to be said for salty dog. Now, I also met a grizzly bear. Because shortly after this, I went to my buddy's house. Well, I'd had a freak out at my buddy's house before this. That's irrelevant. Um, Tried to burn my fingerprints off with a screwdriver and a freaking hand torch. Crazy, crazy. Thought I was gonna save my friend. Anyway, so I run through this field, get away. I'm spooked, man. I start going around looking for anybody that can help me figure out what's going on, clear things up. Everybody's acting funny all of a sudden, and later that night, I'm making my way home. I start getting chased, tailed. Quite a few cars I recognize over and over again following me around. And, boy, oh boy, had my senses reeling. So I'm fleeing, trying to juke and dodge, ditch motherfuckers as best I can. And I take a long way back out of Tracy into Banna and cut through all these fields, and here they are. I can see them silhouetted. And as I start fleeing, one of them asks me, yells out loud, "Is this what the Marine Corps taught you? Is this how the Corps taught you how to fight?" I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty positive bullets came down in range. You know, the hearing of them slapping the mud, pretty distinct. It's real hard to be accurate shot with night vision or whatever on. And they were finding me somehow. I had dove through trenches, was covered in mud, was laying in fields, and they stayed on top of me. Now it helps they knew my pathway back, but I mean, I took long ways around. Got barricaded in my bedroom, listened to my roommates turn on me for money and bribery. They still deny it. Who knows? Could have been wrong, but some canisters came into my room. My poor dog got drugged. Now, I won't be naming the parties. Any of that. I'm no snitch. This is all to keep me alive on my way home. If they see it, I hope they know that I have every intention of making it right. Like I said, it's just life gets in the way. Yeah, so I get hunted to my room. I'm barricaded in there, making a final stand, and I got a Molotov cocktail I made in there. I was gonna burn the room down on my exit and fucking hopefully get one of them bastards on my way out. And this grizzly bear, big old black man, still never got to see him, calling me out the whole way. And if it would have been a toe-to-toe situation, well, I don't know if you've ever seen Legends of the Fall, but I always had a thought that I might get a chance to go out one day like Brad Pitt does in the end, you know, fighting a grizzly bear. So that big Bubba, he's my grizzly bear. We'll see if he don't come back around one day. Anyway, so that's what started the fleeing. You know, I jumped through my window. I had my katana. All my guns were at my friend's house. I didn't have any way to defend myself except for my grandpa's sword. So I got a 32-inch Japanese katana I'm holding. The room's barricaded. I got a shotgun shell IED on the door. I'm ready. I'm making my final stand. Canisters come over and I can hear them talking about, "I'll go to sleep soon. Dog's drugged." I'm freaking being gassed as far as I can tell. Now, I made a break for the back window, smashed my Molotov right by the window, create a fire distraction and whatnot, and took off running. My goal was to go across the street to the Best Buy warehouse, break a window and set an alarm off, and get took to jail for B&E or craziness or whatever. That didn't work. Thick windows, a bad tool to break them with. Now, I went under a street light and prepared to make my final stand, accepted death. They wouldn't come for me. So, next thing I did is I ran over to a neighbor's house, banged on the window at a late hour, acting crazy, and got took away on a 5150. The cops didn't believe me when I told them that, I'm hearing voices and people are chasing me that aren't there. And so the cop could tell I was spooked and something was going on. I told him freaking, hey man, yeah, I feel like hurting myself and others. And he goes, do you feel like hurting yourself or others? I said, yup, I feel like hurting myself. That's it. So he took me to the hospital. There I got to find out how powerful men really are. Blew my fucking mind. Tracy Swinus, apparently their pay ain't good enough. I'll leave that at that. But anyway, that's where I found out what I done, what I was accused of done. Found out kind of what the scoop was, and basically started pleading for my life. Explained myself. Got drugged by the staff, even though I refused meds. The only thing they did was draw my blood, but somehow I got drugged. I know I was drugged because there was about a 8-ball of meth in my stomach wrapped up in things, and about half of it had digested, didn't make it out. I mean, it thought I was going to be able to save it, thought I was keeping myself safe, and yeah, just fucking trying to kill myself, apparently. Anyway, 2 to 4 hours at a hospital is not enough time for your heart rate to drop 40, 60 beats a minute, something like that, in that time on that amount of methamphetamines. And mine dropped real quick as soon as them dope drugs, whatever they fucking fed me, kicked in. Now, all this sounds absolutely insane, and it really is. But it all happened. When jumping out the window, I had ended up getting this freaking hole in my foot, about 2.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches, 3 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches deep from the glass. And running and hopping, I cut off a sleeve to my jumpsuit and wrapped it around my foot, dove into a fucking shit mud canal, and some crazy shit, man. Definitely some movie shit. Now, I barely even understand how I survived. And so I started hoofing it homeless, trying to figure out what to do. Talked to family, tried to get help, tried to get somebody to cover my debt. Family just thought I was full of shit and dope crazy and hitting them up for dope money. It's funny because I've never ever done that before in my life. Even when I was on the needle, I never did that. Never really asked my family for much, ever. Never stole from them. Been angry at them. Been accused of some real effed up stuff by them. And treated like shit by them. My views and opinions were never respected. And, yeah. So, I mean, with that whole outlook on me, when I came with this situation,